Welcome to the Militia Gaming Community. I'm Trigger, and today we're back with another wrong build video, this time the 69 Dodge Charger. Let's go! Alright, real quick before we get into the video, if you're looking for a level 50 crew or just people to play with either on Need for Speed Heat or the Crew 2, we have everyone in our Discord. We've got over 4,000 members. There are crews looking to recruit people, and there are people looking to group up and play Need for Speed Heat and the Crew 2 every single week. So you can join that by hitting the link in the description down below. Now let's get into this video. The first thing I want to talk about is the engine, because that's the most important part of any build in this game. So let's give you that information right up front. All right, so for this Charger, the best engine is going to be the 715 horsepower forged 5.0 liter V8. Now right now I've got Ultimate Plus parts on there with the Ultimate Dual Turbo and the 5x3 pound NOS. That's not going to change. That's exactly what you're going to want on the engine. As far as the chassis is concerned, I'm definitely going to stick with track suspension, Elite brakes, and Elite race tires. They felt the best during my engine testing. And then we've got the Elite Plus clutch. Now the gearbox is a question for me. I think the 7-speed is going to be the best option, but we're gonna see what happens on Sonic. I might throw a 6 or a 5 in there just to see. Some of these older cars sometimes will perform a little better with lower speeds like 5 or 6. So we'll try that in just a little bit. And then the Super Track differential is definitely staying, along with the NOS refills and NOS duration. I'll give you the full build right after we run through Sonic, but let's take it out there. I want this video to be semi-short if I can, so let's take it out there, go through a Sonic run, and then we will figure out this gearbox issue. All right, so what I'm looking for on this run from the gearbox is to see when the car shifts into 7th gear. I've got the 7-speed transmission in there now. This is a great race to test that on because it has a lot of long straights. So if it shifts into 7th, near or at top speed, I may want to put the 6-speed in there. So we'll see. We'll just see what happens here. We're going full bore, baby. It's the first race of the day too, so I'm a little bit cold. Hopefully this works. See, 227 when it shifted into 7th. I don't know if that 7th gear is necessary. That's why I was testing this. On Arian, you don't really have a lot of spots to test the high speed, but look, we're in 6th all the way to 226 that time, and that's near the high speed or near the top speed. I don't know if we need that 7th gear, but fingers crossed we can nail this part. I was a little bit weak, a little slow there. That's all right. Car handles good, but it's heavy. You can feel how heavy it is. It's just not, it just doesn't perform as well as some of the other cars in the game. It's just due to its weight. It's a very heavy, old muscle car. And it's just not going to perform like some of the lighter cars in the game. 226, it shifts to 7th. I might run this again on the 6-speed and just see what happens. I think the 6-speed's going to be a better option. I went into the grass a little bit there. It's okay, though. We're just going for this run. I think what I'll do is I'll replace the 7-speed with the 6. We'll run it again off camera and just see what it is. That way we're not wasting anyone's time here. Let's see how it does. Oh my goodness. I don't know how I messed that up. That's just me. That's just me racing for the first time today, after playing a little bit of Forza Horizon 4. Alright, with some mistakes, I ran a 250. That run could have been cleaned up quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and try this again with the 6-speed off camera. We'll just cut to the end. That way you can see what the time is going to be. Alright, so after running with the 6-speed, here are my thoughts. I only ran it a second faster than I did with the 7-speed, but I made quite a few mistakes with the 7-speed. But I also made a little bit of mistakes with the 6-speed as well. I kind of went into the grass on some of the freeway sections, lost a lot of my speed. So I feel like they're pretty close to even, but the 7-speed the 7th gear just doesn't come into play very often at all. And I think the 6-speed would get more use out of it. The 6-speed gears, you're gonna go through the entire range. The 7-speed, you don't. Only on really long straights or potentially downhill straights will you get into that 7th gear. Now, if you're going for top speed, like let's say you want to get the achievement where you get to 240 miles an hour, then I would say run the 7-speed because that allows you a little bit longer of a range and you can get closer to 240, especially going downhill with NOS. So my suggestion here is if you're going to race this car, 100% use the 6-speed. If you want to go for that achievement, use the 7-speed. All right, throw up the build card. Let's see the full track build. We've got the 5.0 forged V8 engine with the Ultimate Plus engine parts and the Ultimate dual turbo. You've got the Ultimate 5x3 pound NOS and the Super Track suspension, Elite brakes, Elite race tires, Elite Plus clutch, and the Super Plus 6-speed gearbox. You've got the Super Track differential and the NOS refills and NOS duration. Now, as far as the live tuning goes, we've got steering sensitivity +2, and if it's not enough for you, run it +3 or 4, but +2 seems really good for me. I've got the downforce right in the middle. The back end is perfect the way it is. I like that it slides around corners. It feels nice. This is the best live tuning I could come up with when I was running my engine test, so this is what we're going with. Traction control off and drift style on gas. All right, let's move on to the drag build. All right, so in testing these engines, there were 2 engines that were fairly close, and it was both of the forged engines. You notice there's 16 engines that fit in this car, so there's a lot of testing I did, but the 2 forged engines were the ones that performed the best. So I'm gonna compare those when it comes to the drag build, and I normally don't do this because usually the testing is not that close, but I wanna see what the 0 to 60 and the quarter mile look like for each of these engines so that we can pick the correct one. So right now, we have that 715 horsepower forged 5.0 V8, but we're gonna take a look after we switch it to a drag build. Let's see if the other engine performs better. So first off, we need to make this a drag build. Let's get the 1x15 pound NOS in there. We're also gonna check out the boost options as well, because a lot of times people wanna put a supercharger in an older car like this, and I wanna show you that superchargers do nothing but make the high speed and the acceleration slower. So you've got the turbocharger. Right now the dual turbo's in it, but if I were to put the single turbo, we lose a high speed and acceleration. If I put the screw supercharger in there, we lose high speed and acceleration. If we go with the Roots supercharger, same thing, and the centrifugal supercharger is even worse. So I would not recommend any of the superchargers if you're trying to make this thing a drag build. Definitely the dual turbo, it works out the best on the low and the high end, so we're gonna keep that. Now, I've got both engines built up, but I need to make sure I've got drag tires, and then we also need to adjust the live tuning before we swap engines. So let's put drag tires on there. We're gonna check the gearboxes as well, make sure we have one of each in our inventory. We do. Okay, let's get outside the garage real quick and we'll check both engines. All right, live tuning on a drag build, you want your downforce all the way down. So we're gonna drop it there. And let's take a look at this real quick. 9.07 with the 715 horsepower forged 5.0. So 907 is the time we're looking to beat. Let's just go ahead and throw the other engine in here just to see what happens. The other engine is the other forged engine, that 4.7 liter V8. And let's see, because it does give us very good stats, high speed and acceleration. So let's just see. 9.10. Now this is with this particular transmission. Let's see if we can get something lower than 9.07 with a different gearbox. Let's see, 4-speed. This drops the high speed and the acceleration tremendously. Yeah, 957, not gonna be that. So yeah, the 4-speed is out. Let's go with the 5. Also drops the high speed acceleration, 9.23. Okay, and let's drop the 7-speed in, because remember we started with the 6-speed. 9.07. So this is the second engine with the 7-speed transmission. It's faster on the quarter mile. So the last thing we need to do is go back to the original 715 horsepower engine and slap the 7-speed on that and see where that is. So let's see. Look at that. We get all 10s on the stats, for this drag build. That is pretty cool. It's nice to see. It doesn't always mean it's the fastest, but it is pretty cool to see. All right, let's take a look. 9.03. 9.03. That is the fastest quarter mile we can achieve for this car, given all of the options for engine and gearbox. Let's take a look at the 0 to 60 real quick. I did not look at that earlier. 2.07, which is fairly slow in this game. There's a lot of cars that can do it sub 2. So I don't think this is a very good drag car. It's just moderately good. It's not even, I mean, it's not even good. It's towards the bottom, honestly. There's a lot of cars that can run a quarter mile in this game around 8.5, 8.6, 8.7. And so for this to do a 9.03, it's really just, it's just not good. It's going to be near the bottom of the list of the cars that I've tested. So anyway, let me go ahead and give you the full track build. I mean, the full drag build, I should say. Throw up that build card. Let's check it out. So we've got that 715 horsepower forged 5.0 liter V8, Ultimate Plus engine parts with the Ultimate dual turbo, Ultimate 1x15 pound NOS, Super Track suspension, Elite brakes, Elite drag tires, Elite Plus clutch, Elite 7-speed gearbox. This is different than the track build. The track build's the 6. Elite 7-speed gearbox, and the Super Track differential with Elite refills and duration. And of course, the live tuning for a drag build. Steering sensitivity +2, downforce -5, traction control off, and drift style on gas. All right, let's drift it. So this being a rear-wheel drive car, we are starting with a rear-wheel drive setup. And to do that, we're gonna switch the suspension, we're leaving the tires drag, and then we're going to switch the differential. Those are the two things that need to switch in order for this to become a drift build. So suspension is going to be super speed cross. We're going to leave the drag tires, and we're dropping in the pro drift differential. And this should be the best build for drifting, but we will see. We'll see how it scores. We'll see how it feels. We might need to switch some things around. Now, I'm actually going to switch this back to the 6-speed transmission. It's not going to make a whole lot of difference for this drift build, but because I don't really want to be switching it around from race to drift to all this, I'm just going to leave it as a 6-speed. That way, if I ever switch back to a track build, I know I've already got that part in the way. And this is actually because I use an automatic transmission. If I were using a manual, less gears is better usually when it comes to drifting. So 6-speed transmission. All right, let's take this out, see how it goes. Oh my god, dude. 83,000, and I lost my multiplier on the last turn. I think I can beat my record with this one. My record's 89. I think I can beat that. Oh my goodness. We're going for it. Usually I do a drifting montage. We're going for this. We're going for the record. Oh, 85, dude. Oh my god. One more time. Oh, I lost my multiplier again, dude. Oh, still beat it, dude. 94. Oh my goodness. 94,000. We've just set a new record on this thing. That is insane, dude. Oh my goodness. This is a brilliant drift car. Absolutely amazing. That's what this is. This is meant to drift. I love it. Throw up the drift build card. All right, same engine, forged 5.0 liter V8s. We got the Ultimate Plus engine parts, Ultimate Dual Turbo, and the Ultimate 5x3 pound NOS. Here's where the good parts come in. Super Speed Cross suspension, Elite brakes, and the Elite drag tires. Elite Plus clutch, Super Plus 6-speed gearbox, and the Pro Drift differential. This thing is amazing, dude. Absolutely amazing. And to be honest, I don't even have my full live tuning settings. I probably can do better if I adjust my settings. And the live tuning I recommend, which is not what I did with that run, and it'll get better if I did, steering sensitivity all the way up, downforce all the way down. This helps with control and flipping the car from side to side. I bet you, I know I had to use the handbrake a few times in order to get the car to turn when I wanted it to, and I bet you I could probably avoid that if I had the steering sensitivity all the way up. So, +5 steering, -5 downforce, traction off, drift style on gas. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. All right, let's go see what it does in the dirt. Here we go, baby. HTV2 test. Oh, slow start, a lot of wheel spin, as expected. Oh my goodness. I thought it was gonna flip itself around, so I corrected the steering, and it didn't want to. This thing slides like crazy. I'm gonna have to increase the downforce for sure. Let's do that now. All right, let's restart this. So because it didn't want to keep its traction, regain traction. Oh my God, the torque steer, dude. All right, so because it didn't want to regain traction after turns, I had to increase the downforce. It slides so much, which explains why it's such a good drift car. But we needed to get traction after these turns. Just slide around that turn, no problem, but then regain traction so that I can NOS you out of there. 140, it's actually not bad. Doesn't have the street speed to have a super fast time, but I wouldn't be surprised if we ran to like a 153. Something like that. 153, 152, something close. There we go, coming in. 143, that's really fast actually. On the dirt, that's not bad, dude. Come on, man. I think we ran a 152. 152.71, just like I said. 152, 153. 152.71. Let me write it down before we mess this up. All right, let's take it over to Rumble. I think we could probably run that just a tiny bit faster. Had a little collision with one of the barriers, just a tiny little tap of the barrier at the very last lap of that race. So we probably can cut off a half a second to a second on that. But that's if we're really grinding for time. You know, we're talking small amounts of time. But let's just see how it does on Rumble. That'll give us an idea of where it is in the off-road pack. There we go, Rumble test. Let's go. A little bit of a slow start. Actually feels quite fun to use in the dirt. It's very lively. It's sharp. It definitely slides around corners very well when you need it to. It doesn't regain traction as fast as I would like it to, but it is what it is. I mean, it's a super heavy car. Like we discussed with the track racing. It's tough to get a car this heavy to handle like a supercar, or in this case, a rally car. All right, here we go, entering lap 3. Time looks to be okay. I think we're looking at a fairly bad time. Not bad, but not great either. Avoid all these knuckleheads. I don't know why the AI always goes so wide on that corner. Like, what's the point of that? One thing I did notice is that there's very few clips on this hill. It's almost like this car was meant to be an off-road car. It's weird. It's like they were planning on people using this off-road. Alright, we're already at 305. We're probably looking at about a 316. $316.36. It's not terrible, but we'd like it to be closer to 310 if we were going to consider it fast on the dirt. So let's see where this puts us. 316.36. Let me write it down. So that puts us in the combined range of 509. Now 509, let me just give you an example of some cars that also run both of those courses near 509. You've got the BMW M4 convertible. We've got the Pagani Huayra, runs it in a 508. We've got the Honda Civic Type R, runs it in a 509. Nissan 350Z runs it in a 510. And after that, it gets a little wonky. And in front of that, you've got like the S2000 Mustang GT, the Buick Grand National. But this is 509 is middle of the pack really for off-road. So it's an okay off-road car. It's not terrible. It is fun to drive, but it's nowhere near the fastest off-road cars in the game. So there are other muscle cars you can use, like the Fox Body is a much faster off-road car than this. But this was fun. This was good to run off-road. Let's go ahead and throw up the off-road build card so you have it. Here we go. All right, same 5.0 liter V8 engine, Ultimate Plus engine parts, Ultimate dual turbo, and the Ultimate 5x3 pound NOS. For the chassis, we've got the Super Rally suspension, Elite brakes, Elite off-road tires, Elite Plus clutch, and the Elite 7-speed gearbox. That is different than the track build. I ran the 7-speed because it gives it better acceleration and better top speed on the dirt. And then you've got the Super Rally differential, NOS refills and NOS duration for sure. And the live tuning is important as well. Steering sensitivity +5, downforce +5. You might be tempted to run downforce -5, but don't do it. It's way too slippery. But it does give this car a 400+ rating when you run the downforce all the way down. You might be tempted to do that, but don't. Downforce +5 on this one on the dirt. All right, let's sum this video up. All right, I'll try to make this quick. Let's just sum this up real quick. Track, not very good. Drag, not very good. Off-road, it's okay. Not very good though. Drifting, this car is unbelievable at drifting. It is a very, very good drift car. I would put it right outside my top 5, even though I was able to get my world record, not world record. I was able to get my personal best on the drift track that's right outside the racetrack there. I think if I went back today and took the RX-7 out there, I'd probably be able to beat that, because the RX-7 is definitely the drift king in this game. But it is an unbelievable drifting machine. So this car, 100% use it for drifting and maybe use it for off-road, but that's it, man. It's just not very good on the track, and it's not very good in drag. It's just not a fast car all around, but you don't need to be fast to be slippery, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I want to shout out the person that made this wrap. This wrap is unbelievable. It's a very nice wrap. This is all my style. It's a race style inspired wrap. This is on Xbox, of course, but if you want to get this wrap, you're going to have to go to customization, paint and wrap, go to the community section, search for this wrap, which is made by RW Sauerland 5603. Anyway, he made it this year in May. There's 10 downloads and I'm one of them. He also has a bunch of other wraps for this car that are pretty decent. I like this one as well, but I prefer this red and black. So anyway, shout out to RW Sauerland for this nice wrap, and congrats on the feature in one of my videos. All right, that's it, guys. I appreciate you guys making it this far, as I know this was a long video, and in the beginning I said it was a short video, but it didn't turn out to be a short video, and I'm kind of frustrated about that. But I still need to tell you, if you're having trouble with the game or you have any questions, feel free to DM me. My DMs are always open. I don't get back to people like right away, but you can send me a message and I will read it. I read every single DM and I reply to everyone I can, or everyone that requires a reply. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Shout out to all the Militia subs, and I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.